Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta again. I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about holiday safety. I'm here with Eris Papadopoulos. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Keisha, for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, let's start at the beginning. What should we be concerned about more so during the holidays in terms of safety?
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year, but we see an increase in fires and home fires during this time of year. So, we would focus on anything that can cause a fire in the house, and I can go into some specifics.
Okay, yes, please. Let's talk about it. What kind of specifics should we be looking out for?
Well, most people will have a tree in the house and decorations. It's important that these be placed at least 3 feet away from any source of heat, like a fireplace, a portable heater, a radiator, or candles. At least 3 feet distance is a good rule of thumb. The second thing is, like myself, I've been using a flame retardant metallic and artificial tree for many years now, and I like that. But if you still are buying a real tree, make sure that it's fresh, that the needles are green and aren't easily broken. And live trees need to be kept moist, so give them plenty of water so they don't dry.
Oh, okay. I think that sometimes we forget about how dry that real tree can get and how much of a fire hazard that could be in our home. So that's a fantastic tip. Okay, what else do you have?
Yeah, also the decorations. I suggest people look at decorations that are flame resistant and flame retardant. And then when you're putting up wiring for lighting and so forth, do not use nails, use clips, because those nails can fray the wiring, and that can be a source of ignition at some point. We're also cooking a lot during this holiday season, so with a lot of activity in the kitchen, make sure that anything that can catch on fire, food packaging, plastic bags, paper, towels, even wooden utensils, are kept away from the stovetop, because if those catch fire, then, you've got a source of trouble there. And at night, I recommend that at least one person in the house kind of walk around the house, make sure that everything is extinguished, the candles, the fireplace. I even recommend that people turn off the lights, the decorative lights when they go to sleep. We can enjoy them for so many hours during the day. No reason to keep them up all night. Also, if you're leaving the house, that's also a good idea. If you're going out for the evening, make sure that everything is turned off. There are no live flames, and even the lights, I would recommend, if you can, turn them off.
Now, I got to say, all of us feel like we're being safe and we know these things, but I never even thought about the wooden spoon by the stove. Like, that never even occurred to me. It's little things like that I think that sometimes we take for granted, or, it's just one thing. So is there a place where we can go and maybe get some of these tips and maybe have a little refresher on some ways that we can stay safe?
Yeah, feel free to check out the website buildingresilient.com, which is the Resilience Action Fund, the nonprofit that I have website. There's a lot of good information there, not just on holiday safety, but having a safe home in general. And as you try to put your New Year resolutions together, don't forget things that can make your house safer. Whether you're in a flood-prone area, a wind-prone area, tornado, etc., we all have some hazard. So add 1 or 2 things to that list that will make yourself and your home safer in 2025.
That is a fantastic idea. Again, so many times we take these things for granted, right? We don't actually put them top of mind, but perhaps going to your website, it will remind us of some little things that we could do to not just stay safe during the holiday season, but to your point, all year round.
Exactly. And just a few final tips. Most houses today do have smoke and fire alarms, but make sure those are working. And you definitely need one close to the kitchen area, close to the bedroom, if that's on a separate floor. If you close the door of bedroom, both inside and outside. And also, I recommend that people have these small fire extinguishers that are not that expensive, and you can buy them online or big box stores. Get a half dozen of them and just scatter them around the house, and maybe get the family together once a year and kind of show how it works. Just have an event and a safety afternoon or something, and show how a fire extinguisher does work.
That's a fantastic idea. I don't know how many of us have had a little safety dinner, but it's time we start. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Happy holidays and safe holidays.
Happy holidays. All right, guys, happy holidays to you too. Please take the opportunity to visit the website, get some of these tips. It could perhaps save a life. Thanks for tuning in to this segment of Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.